for my channel, The Mantle Traveler. I'm Caro Herrera, and today I'm going to be talking about a historical fiction novel called The Mantle. It was written by Elizabeth Chadwick and published in 2002, and before I begin, I would like to say that this will be a spoiler-free video, so you can sit back and enjoy. I've always loved history, and I'm an Anglophile, so I'm not surprised that my favorite books are historical fiction novels set in England by Sharon K. Penman. Many works introduced me to the fascinating world of medieval England, and I mean, before I read Sharon's books, I was only interested on Queen Victoria and her descendants, but now I'm interested in what happened from William the Conqueror up to Queen Elizabeth and her descendants. So yeah, there are some periods of English history that I know more of others, and I'd never really read a historical fiction novel based on the times of William the Conqueror. But since Sharon K. Penman hasn't written anything about him yet, I decided to find a book that did. Sharon is friends with this author called Elizabeth Chadwick. A lot of people who like Sharon books praise Chadwick because they write sort of similar stories. But I've always been hesitant to read her works because I don't think that anything can really top Sharon's works. But yeah, after researching Chadwick's books, I decided that I didn't want to read her take on any of the characters that Sharon wrote about. So when I saw that she'd written a book set in the times of William the Conqueror, I was like, interesting. Sharon hasn't written anything about that, so I might give Chadwick's novel a try as an introduction to this period of time. So after many months of hesitating, I finally bought the book and read it. I'll read the Goodreads description of the summary because it's really good. Normandy, 1067. William may have conquered England, but it is a conquest of a different kind that one English earl has in mind. Fresh from his defeat of King Harold at the Battle of Hastings, William of Normandy has returned in triumph, accompanied by the English nobles he cannot trust to leave behind. For Waldhof of Huntington, however, rebellion is not at the forefront of his thoughts. From the moment he catches sight of Judith, daughter of the king's formidable sister, he knows he has found his future wife. When Waldhof saves Judith's life, it is clear that the attraction is mutual, but marriage has little to do with love in medieval England. William refuses to let the couple wed. Waldhof joins forces with his fellow rebels in an uprising against the king. William brutally crushes the rebellion, but realizes that Waldhof cannot be ignored. Marrying him to his niece, he decides, is a perfect way to keep him in check. But is the match between the Saxon earl and Norman lady made in heaven or hell? As their children grow, Waldhof and Judith must choose between their feelings for each other and older loyalties. At the same time, the reputation of Waldhof's Norman acquaintance, Simon de Senlis, continues to flourish. The son of William's camp chamberlain, it shares a special bond with Waldhof, who rescued him from being trampled by a horse when he was a squire. Now Simon enjoys the confidence of both the king and the rebel earl, and when tension between the two ignites once more, it is Simon who is set to reap the reward. Based on an astonishing true story of honor, treachery, and love, The Mantle is historical fiction at its best, reaching from the turbulent reign of William the Conqueror to the high drama of the Crusades. Okay, so I'm afraid that I must give The Mantle a 3.5 out of 5 stars review because my initial hesitations to read it were proved right, and I didn't like it as much as I hoped I would. The writing style was good, but nothing extraordinary. And while it had a promising start, it quickly became a real struggle to finish. Why? Because I just didn't like the story or the characters at all. The story just kept getting more and more depressing, and while this may mean that's just because way back in the Middle Ages people led a rough life, it also made me lose interest in it. And then there were the characters. I had seen reviews before I read the novel that many don't like the female protagonist, and now I can see why. I couldn't sympathize with her one bit, and thus I wasn't as invested in the story as I might have been. She was just too cold and reserved, and I didn't really care for her or the way she treated her husband. And like at the start of the novel, Judith dislikes her mother, and I found myself agreeing with why she would be like that. But as the story progressed, she became more and more like her mother, so like there was nothing to like about her then. And as to Waldhof, he was likable at the beginning, but then he just turned into this sorry figure of a man, too noble and too milksop, even if he was a good fighter. And sure, I did learn a bit about William the Conqueror, but in the end I think I will give that a try to another book about William and Waldhof. It's called Of the Ring of Earls, and it was written by Juliet Dymock. So yeah, while The Mantle was a bearable read, it doesn't hold a light to the beautiful works of Sharon K. Penman. And I don't think I'm gonna read Chadwick's take on William Marshall, but I mean, if I ever do, I'll review them, but I don't think I'm gonna like her William as much as I did Sharon's. But yeah, for the moment I believe that this is all I have to say about The Mantle. Thank you so much for watching my review of it. I hope that you enjoyed it, and whether you agree or not with me, I would love to hear your opinions. It's always interesting to talk about anything that's relevant to this time period. But yeah, in the description box below you can find a link to the Goodreads page for the book, and well, I'm Caro Herrera, the Mental Traveler, and I hope you have a wonderful day wherever you're in the world. I'll be seeing you soon. Take care, and goodbye!